When I came from a modern background, my father is now retired, but he was in the Navy. From UP, my mother is from Rajasthan. And when I got married into a very traditional family, the choice was there for me to either accept the customs and traditions. I will not say obsolete, I will not say old customs and traditions, prevailing what has been going on for many generations. I chose to follow those to the best of my ability because it truly showcased what was us in our essential basic form. You know, you see a lot on television, you see Rajasthani Ghumar on television, you see a lot of you see a lot in films. I'm sorry to say, what they portray in films is never in Bollywood. In Bollywood, it is not what actually is. Yes, every community, every state, every society has its plus and minuses, but they tend to pick out the minuses and showcase those because maybe that is what sells. But the essential basic customs and traditions, beautiful customs and traditions with a lot of scientific meaning, with a lot of reason, practicality behind it, gets lost somewhere in between. And I wanted to portray what we actually are as a people. So when I got married and came my mother-in-law, who's to me like a Devi, she told me, she said, she thought I was more modern than what I looked. So she said, Beenani, in our language she told me, which I will translate. She said, if you wish to wear whatever you want to wear, I have no problems with it. But I would love you to dress traditionally because I love stitching. And she would stitch an outfit for me every day, practically every day. That was her speed and her passion. And so I wore, and when I thought about this, I said, look at the wisdom of the lady, the respect that she's given me as a new bride. She's given me a choice, which many people think, oh, the Indian woman is downtrodden or she has no choices. That's not true. She gave me a choice. She said that, you can wear what you want, but it would make me really happy. And then I thought of it. I said, if my mother told this to somebody, say if I had a brother, I don't have a real brother, and if my sister-in-law, if my mother told this to my sister-in-law and said, look, I'd be really happy, would I not want her to make my mother happy? That's all that I think elders ask for, is a little bit of respect and, if you can make them happy in some way. So I started wearing, so I decided that day, I said I will wear the traditional outfit. Firstly, it's beautiful. Secondly, it was different from what was already, everybody was wearing. Besides the sari, most people were wearing other costumes, other kinds of dresses. So I wore it with a lot of pride. And when I started wearing it, that pride in me kind of increased. And I said that I must now follow some more customs, traditions, and at least carry them on so that they're not lost in, somewhere in some book. So that's one of the reasons. And then we started our hotel. We registered as a heritage property. And it gave me even more motivation to showcase our culture and tradition. So when people came home, the traveler, in our case it was a lot of foreigners, it was also a lot of domestic travelers. So, they would sometimes they would ask me, are you dressed for us? Actually, somebody asked me even now, today while I was watching the session in the front lawn. He said, excuse me ma'am, but are you dressed in a costume? So I said, no. Just shows that how this our traditional dressing is kind of getting lost. Yes, you see it, you expect to see it in the rural areas, in villages, but you don't expect to see it in metro cities and in more urbanized societies. So I wear it with a lot of pride, and I get motivated every time somebody says, oh, it looks lovely. So it gives me all the more reason to dress like this.
So ma'am, but what can we do more to help the Indian culture, Rajasthani culture expand, around the world, the message around the world, get tourists back, help them understand India?
Well, I suppose a lot of it lies with the government, and as individual representatives, we really do our best with travelers who come in. We do attend shows, global marketing shows and all, but I think a lot of the onus lies with the government to promote. And there are a lot of organizations, people like Sanjoy, people like John and Faith of the Virasat Foundation of JLF fame, who in their own way, Sanjoy does this wonderful Art Matters. They're promoting as many as they can. They've helped as many as they can. We, in our own way, have, my boys got married during the COVID lockdown. And in that small gathering, I was able to call a few of the arts and crafts people from Jaipur, the Lark bangle maker, the puppet showman, the local musician. We called whoever we could, the potter. We called whoever we could. Even in that small gathering of 50 or 100, I said, just let them show and let them feel that they are still worth being looked at. So that's been our effort on an individual basis. And yes, there are a number of NGOs working. There are a lot of people doing, but maybe it's not enough. Maybe it needs a greater push, and I think the government can do a lot.